Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode number 6, and today we are going to be challenging the Cerulean City Gym. But before we do that, I have something special I would like to do. You remember that moonstone we found back in Mount Moon? I'm actually going to use it, and I'm going to evolve. We can evolve a lot of Pokemon, but I'm going to evolve Veery, our Nidorina. It'll be our first fully evolved Pokemon. And normally I would rather wait for the final evolution until a little later in the game, but there's a move that Nidoqueen learns at level 23, which I would really like her to learn. It's a cool looking Pokemon. And I think if you evolve them exactly at level 23, they will still try to learn it after they evolve. I know that's the case in later generations, but I'm not 100% sure that is the case here. So I figured we would go ahead and evolve Nidoqueen a little bit early just to be on the safe side. Now the downside, while Nidoqueen is a much more powerful Pokemon than Nidorina, the downside is that she is now part ground type, which might make this a little more difficult. Yo, champion making! Here's my advice. The Leader Misty is a pro who uses water Pokemon. You can drain all their water with plant Pokemon, or zap them with electricity. Yeah, water's a pretty good type, only has those 2 weaknesses. Splash! I'm first up, let's do it. And there's, I think, a swimmer here and a lass, if I recall, and I want to say she has a Goldeen. Let's see if I'm right. Maybe not. Maybe Horsey and Shelder, and the next one is a Goldeen. Veery has a really weird back animation, though, or back sprite. Same moves, of course. Let's go with Scratch. Luckily, we'll be learning a much better move in short time. At our speed fell, that's not good. We are still faster, though. How do we miss? Does Scratch not have 100% accuracy? Or did Horsey use Smokescreen at the start? Maybe Horsey used Smokescreen and I just missed it. It's definitely possible. Alright, 1 Pokemon down. And Shelder, yep. At least I got that one right. Now Shelder has high defense, so I wonder if it'd be useful to poison it. No, I think we'll be okay. Although it is going to increase its defense with Withdraw. There are a lot of moves that increase your defense in these games. Withdraw, Defense Curl, Harden. Alright, critical hit. Got some more XP there. That can't be! But it can. And I think this trainer might be optional. Nope, have to face her too. The first one is optional because you can obviously go around the other side of the gym. Look at how simple the gyms were back in these days. Now they have like really cool gyms with spinning platforms and teleporters and 3D effects. This is how it all began. And I knew I remembered a Goldeen. It's this girl that has the Goldeen. Goldeen used Tail Whip. We're going to see if Goldeen knows any water attacks. I'm hoping no. It probably knows like Peck or something. Supersonic. Well, ain't that just super? I hate confusion. And because our attack stat is so high, now we're actually doing more damage to ourselves than I think Goldeen would do. Yep, Peck. A flying type attack. But not a very good one. Alright, we have defeated all of the gym trainers and grew to level 23. And there it is, Body Slam. Alright, we are going to replace a move. Let me think for 1 second here. Alright, because I'm trying to think what order we're going to get our other moves. Since I can't switch around the order of my moves, it's important that I override the right one. But we are going to go ahead, and I think we're going to override Growl. Which is good, because that's the first move anyway, so it'll be easier to hit. And we learned Body Slam. You overwhelmed me! Body Slam is actually one of my favorite attacks in Gen 1. It's an 85 base power move, 100% accuracy, normal type, which means it's only not good against ghosts and rock types, of which there aren't too many. And it has a 30% chance to paralyze your opponent, which is a pretty good stats condition because it makes them slower and also gives them a 1 in 4 chance of being fully paralyzed every turn. It's definitely a good move. It's arguably the best normal type move in this generation because they haven't even added Return yet. A lot of people these days prefer to use Return instead of instead of Body Slam, because if your Pokemon's Friendship is maxed, then Return has a base power of 102, as opposed to Body Slam's 85. But alright, our Pokemon are healed. It's time to face Misty. Hi, you're a new face. Trainers who want to turn pro have to have a policy about Pokemon. What is your approach when you catch Pokemon? My policy is an all-out offensive with Water-type Pokemon. Alright, good policy, I guess. I guess you could say my policy is a range of powerful Pokemon of different types. And she starts with the Staryu. Her Pokemon in the anime were based off of her Pokemon here, so that'll give you a good indication of what she has. We're going to use Body Slam, our new move. It should do a ton of damage, and that it did. But we are weak to Water Gun, so it did a decent amount of damage there. The good news is, even though Misty's Pokemon are pretty high level for this point in the game, we've just been getting a ton of experience. Ours are higher still. That's right, her best Pokemon is Starmie. Let's go with Body Slam. Starmie is a fast Pokemon. Base speed of 115, I think. And its Water Gun is super effective. I'm surprised it doesn't have Bubble Beam. I thought it had Bubble Beam, since that's Misty's like signature move. And she used Next Defend. I forgot that they did that, which was really dumb because it didn't defend it enough. And if you wanted to use it, she should have used it at the very start of the battle. Then it might have actually allowed her to survive an additional Body Slam. Wow, you're too much. Alright, you can have the Cascade Badge to show you beat me. The badge names were a lot more clever back then, too. The Cascade Badge makes all Pokemon up to level 30 obey. That includes even outsiders. There's more. You can now use Cut anytime. You can cut down small bushes to open new paths. You can also have my favorite TM. TM11? It teaches Bubble Beam. Use it on an aquatic Pokemon. Alright, I might actually save that one. Although I'm thinking we have Water Gun, we have Bubble Beam. I don't want to waste any TMs because they are only one use and it's really hard to get TMs in this generation. But I also don't want them clogging up our inventory. So which one's this? Bide. I don't want Bide. I want to use the one for Water Gun. Here we go. Let's go ahead and teach Fury Water Gun just in case she faces any Rock-type Pokemon. It's not the best move anyway, so I don't think we're going to want another one. And let's get rid of Tackle, since Scratch is pretty much better than Tackle in every way. Alright, and we now have Water Gun for facing those Rock types. I'm going to heal up real quick, and then we will continue on our adventure. There are a lot of TMs in this generation that are of moves that really aren't that great. But that's not too surprising, because I think there are only about 160 moves in Gen 1. So, and obviously there's 50 TMs. So some of them are definitely going to be moves that aren't the best. Still can't get into that cave over there, but... And the way to get out of the city is actually a little bit tricky. I know it's kind of confusing for new players. You go to this house here, and if you talk to this guy, those miserable rockets, look what they did here. They stole a TM for teaching Pokemon how to dig holes. That cost me a bundle, it did, and apparently they dug a hole through the wall, or they just had a back door in this house that nobody else has. I see some cracks at the top there, so I feel like it might actually be a hole in the wall. And there's footprints all around, that's kind of cool, and a tipped over plant. They're trying to dig their way into no good, that's right. We'll just have to stop them. And look who it is. Oh, didn't mean to go back inside there. Hey, stay out! It's not your yard. Well, it's not your yard either, buddy. Huh? Me? I'm an innocent bystander. Don't you believe me? Not with that evil theme music playing, I don't. Alright, Rocket wants to fight. He's got a Machop. Interesting choice for a member of Team Rocket. And I did look up the type differences, and apparently poison types are good against, hopefully Paralyzed, that was nice. Are good against bug types in Gen 1 only. Also, bug types are good against poison types, which is weird, but there aren't many bug type attacks. Drowsy, the first Drowsy we've seen, it's a psychic type Pokemon. Kind of like Abra, and Drowsy's a little more durable and usable than Abra is, but it evolves into Hypno, which is a good Pokemon. Not quite as good as Alakazam, though. Alright, we are fast asleep. I think that Drowsy might be a blue exclusive. I'm not sure on that one, though. I don't know if Drowsy knows any psychic type attacks yet, like Confusion, maybe. Those would be super effective against Nidoqueen. Off camera, I did face a Slowpoke from one of those trainers up north of Nugget Bridge. And that Slowpoke was a tough match. Because it did have Confusion, which was super effective against Nidorina. Had to switch to Wartortle for that one. Alright, there we go. And back in this generation, Disable chooses a random move. I think nowadays it chooses the most recent attack you used. So it's a little better than it was. Stop! I give up. I'll leave quietly. That's right. Okay, I'll return the TM I stole. I better get moving. Bye! Like how he says bye. Alright, TM28 is Dig, and we could teach that to Nidoqueen. It's definitely a good move to teach a Nidoqueen, because Dig has 100 base power in this generation, which is the strongest it's ever been. It's just as good as Earthquake. It does take 2 turns, though. However, I'm actually going to save Dig for a different Pokemon that we will get a little later on. There's a bush here, and while we can use the move Cut since we defeated Misty, we do not actually have the HM for Cut yet. So we'll have to head down south to Cerulean City to get that. So another thing I really enjoy about these games is the way that you have to get different HMs and defeat different gyms and do different tasks to get to the next area. It all flows very naturally. It's not like a bunch of just people standing in your way doing construction or having a power outage or things like that that kind of seem artificially forced. It seems very natural in these games. I'm going to try not to jump over this ledge here. I don't remember what's in this house in this generation. Oh, actually, there is a daycare. That's right. See, another one of those things that they had all the way back in Gen 1. Sure, let's have you raise one of my Pokemon for me. How about... let's have him raise Magikarp. Why not? It's a great way to raise a Magikarp. Also a good way to raise, like, a Abra. Basically, any Pokemon... Oh, a town map. That's convenient. So you guys can see where we are right now. We are north of Saffron City, but we actually can't get here. Speaking of people blocking the way, we're going to find a funny excuse for that in a bit. But luckily there is a way to go around. So looking at the town map, you would expect Saffron City to be next, but I'm on guard duty. Gee, I'm thirsty though. Oh, wait there, the road's closed. Oh, so the road... Okay, it's not closed because he's thirsty, but he happens to be thirsty. So he doesn't say why the road is closed. We'll find that out a little later on. But luckily, there is a way around via these convenient underground paths. Which I guess makes sense in a way, because Saffron's this big metropolis. It makes sense there would be underground paths that allow you to go, directly under the whole city to the other side. Do you have a Nidoran male? Want to trade for my Nidoran female? Oh, I don't have a Nidoran male, sorry. I did consider catching a Nidoran male and then trading it at this point in the game for her Nidoran female, but the reason I didn't is because it's already nicknamed, and you can't change the nickname. Alright, so here's the underground path. I don't think there are any wild Pokemon or trainers here in this generation, so it's going to be a pretty boring path. Maybe some items that are hidden there? Not sure about that one. People often lose things in that path. Aha, I guess there are hidden items there. But we don't yet have an item finder. Another thing that was added even back in Gen 1. We'll get one of those later on. But we have made it through. Underground path. Cerulean City to Vermilion City. And another guardhouse here that we cannot yet go through because this guard is also thirsty. Yep, this road is also closed. So no Saffron City today. And in fact, we won't be going to Saffron for quite a while yet. But don't worry, we will. Just to make sure there's nothing up here. Nope, nothing up there either. Alright, but there is a route ahead. We can face some trainers here. And there's one now. There aren't many bugs out here. Is he a bug catcher? I think so. I think you can still catch an Oddish and Bellsprout here if you missed one north of Cerulean City. And grass types are actually good against the first 3 gyms, because they're rock type, which is weak to grass, water type, which is also weak to grass, and electric types. And electric moves are resisted by grass type Pokemon. So Bulbasaur is definitely the easiest of the 3 starters to pick. And a Caterpie. At this point, bug type should be no match for our Nidoqueen, especially because these guys haven't even evolved yet. You think he would have gotten like some Beedrills and some Butterfrees. And in that case, this might actually be fun. As it is, this is plenty easy. Sometimes you could make a case for not evolving your Pokemon, if you want to like learn moves earlier or something like that. But Weedle and Caterpie don't learn any moves, so there's not really a point to keep them unevolved. No, you're kidding! About what? Winning? That's not really a joke. Ah, one tile in and we found a Pokemon. It's a Mankey, fighting type Pokemon. But we will not be adding a Mankey to our team. Although I wonder if we should catch one just for our Pokedex. Because there are some items you can only get in this game. Yep, we killed it. Oh well. From having your Pokedex reasonably completed. There are 2 trainers here, but this is not a double battle. Double battles won't be added until Generation 3. So maybe I will make it a point to catch some Pokemon as we go. Just to complete our Pokedex. Hey, a Squirtle! I didn't realize anybody had starter Pokemon, but I guess they do. That's right, I think there might even be an Ivysaur in the Grass-type gym when we get there. And there's that nice Paralysis chance. Not fully paralyzed, though. It's another Squirtle that... So I can understand him not wanting to evolve into Wartortle if he wants to learn some moves faster. But level 20, I would have evolved mine into Wartortle by then. And in fact, I believe I did. Alright, level 25, and we have defeated the male junior trainer. I just can't win. What about this girl? Excuse me, this is a private conversation. Well, I didn't mean to drop no eaves. Just trying to have some Pokemon battles here. Nope, it is a junior trainer female. They always reminded me of like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. That might have been intentional. But I'm sure those names were copyrighted, so they had to use junior trainers instead. And again, I don't know if they actually have Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts in Japan, so maybe these are based on something else. And our first Pikachu sighting. Like I said, you can catch a Pikachu if you want to train one back in Viridian Forest. Otherwise, you have to wait till the power plant, which is not for quite a while yet. I hate losing, doesn't everybody? But that's why we have some good Pokemon, to make sure we don't lose. I've never seen you around. Are you good? I don't know. Are you good? One way to find out. Let's have a battle. It's a bug catcher. Only one Pokemon. Oh, there's a Butterfree. Alright. So that's a little better. Now, I don't think Butterfree has very good defense, though. So let's see how much Body Slam does. Decent chunk. But Butterfree used Stun Spore. And if Butterfree knows Confusion, that'll make it super effective. It does. See? This Butterfree is a little bit of a challenge. I like that. Because the Paralysis makes me slower. But I wasn't fully paralyzed. That's still going to be a win. Lots of XP. You are too good. Well, that was an honorable battle. I thank you, Bugcatcher. You are a step above your peers. Ah, we have 2 more battles down here. Nothing over here. A little pond you could surf in or go fishing in, but we neither have surf nor fishing rods. Because Nidoqueen is paralyzed, and because she's also level 25, I'm going to switch Wartortle to the front of our party. Me? Well, okay, I'll play. I wasn't asking, but alright. Junior trainer wants to fight. And she has a Pidgey. Alright, pal, up to you. Now, Bubble Beam would be a really good move to teach Pal here. I'm debating between teaching it to him or saving it for another Pokemon. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Because it's probably the best water type attack he's going to get for quite some time. But there's another Pokemon that I might want to also teach Bubble Beam to. In fact, Nidoqueen can learn Bubble Beam instead of Water Gun. It's one of the reasons I really like Nidoqueen is that she has a very good move pool. And Nidoking does as well. I've always liked Pokemon that have good move pools. Just didn't work. You give them some variety in their options. Huh? You want to talk to me? I didn't. I believe you were the one who talked to me. I'd be like a telemarketer calling you and saying, what can I do for you? It's like, you called me. And he's got a Sparrow. Haven't seen one of those in at least a little while. Seems like the type of Pokemon that a junior trainer would have. I actually like the way that Sparrow looks in this game. In future games, it kind of looks, I don't know, a little wimpy, but it looks tough in this game. Which is good, because it is kind of tougher than Pidgey, but Pidgey has more evolutions, and Pidgeot is definitely better than Pharaoh. And a lot cooler as well, if you ask me. Pidgeot actually has a Mega Evolution as of Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. I didn't start it. You kind of did, though. Pretty sure you were the one who challenged me. But alright guys, here we are, Vermilion City. I remember this theme music. Spent a lot of time here. And that's right, we're going to see the SSAM, but let's heal up our Pokemon first. And I do remember this was the first city. I spent a long time here because I really trained up my Pokemon. I remember I had my Pidgeot and my Blastoise both in their final stages, training in the field to the east of here. I wanted to be really sure I was ready for the next gym. I had a Dugtrio too, which is good because Pidgeot and Blastoise are both not good against electric types. And that's right, in this generation and in the early generations, if a Pokemon is poisoned, it takes damage as you're walking, which makes sense. It's kind of a cool mechanic. Is it true that a higher level Pokemon will be more powerful? But all Pokemon have weak points against specific types, so there is no universally strong Pokemon. That's true in theory. In practice, have you met Mewtwo? Psychic really has no weaknesses, and it has by far the highest stats in the entire game. A Pokemon raised by a trainer is stronger than one in the wild. Yep, he's referring to EVs, even though we wouldn't know it at the time. While we're here, I'm going to go ahead and put some items in Kant's PC, which is our item storage system. We might need the town map, we might need some of these. Team 34 is by, I don't really need that. Rare candies I always like to save till near the end, so let's deposit those. Ether, whoop, don't want to deposit that. We may need some ethers or ethers. Maybe HP ups. Helix Fossil we won't need for a while. Debating about that one. Let's deposit that. TM04 was Whirlwind, right? Definitely don't need that. And we'll have to sell the Nugget. I forget what all these TMs are. They don't tell you, unfortunately, until you try to use them. But alright, so we're going to explore around town a little bit, but we will save the SSN until the next episode. Oh, I think I remember what's in this house over here. Yep. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in this city. Fishing is a way of life. From the seas to rivers, go out and land the big one, young one. I don't remember if you can... I think you can register an item, but I think you have to register it to the select key, which I apparently don't have. Let's see, can we no, maybe we can't register it. That might have been a later edition. And there's no minigame here, you either catch something or you don't. And if you catch something, I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to be. That's right, it's a Magikarp. Good old Magikarp. Level 5. And we have one of those in the daycare, obviously. And I believe Magikarp is the only Pokemon you can catch with an old rod in the entire game. So, if you have a really weak Pokemon and want some easy XP, even though it's not much XP, you can train against Magikarp. But, otherwise, there's not much use for an old rod in this game. Grimer multiplies in Toxic Sludge. Oh no. What's this guy doing? I'm putting up a building on this plot of land. My Pokemon is tamping the land. Machamp. A Machamp is stomping the land flat. That's pretty cool. I always wonder what he was building here. I wonder if you come back in Gold and Silver. Is there a house here? I forget. I hope there is. That'd be cool. If that guy was living in there with like his Machoke or something, that would be awesome. But I feel like I would remember that if that was the case. Vermilion City, the port of exquisite sunsets. Can't really watch the sunset in this game, but that's okay. What's over here? Any new items? Super Potion. Well, let's buy 2 of those. We may need them at some point. And you'll notice he no longer sells regular potions, which is kind of annoying. It means if you want regular potions, you have to go back to the other towns. And sometimes if you're like healing your Pokemon between battles, potions is all you need because you can use them back to back, and they're cheaper that way. I think Pokemon can be good or evil. It depends on the trainer. I'm not sure that Pokemon are evil, then I think it's just the trainer using them. And yeah, this guy's referring to Team Rocket, who traffic in stolen Pokemon. And what's down here? Oh, I knew there was something in this house. There's a Pidgey. And this guy, what does he have, a letter or something? I'm getting my Pidgey to fly a letter to Saffron in the north. Dear Pippi, I hope to see you soon. I heard Saffron has problems with Team Rocket. Yeah, those big cities always have a lot of crime. Vermilion appears to be safe. For now, Saffron's not far away though, buddy. If we don't fight Team Rocket, they're gonna spread. Can't have that happening. Have to take on that organized crime. But yeah, I think if you go to Saffron City, you can find Pippi and her reply to that guy. And that's right, the Pokemon Fan Club. It's a seal. Haven't seen a seal yet. Besides that one there. Is this a Clefairy? It's a Pikachu. Won't you admire my Pikachu's adorable tail? Yes, isn't it awesome? If someone brags, brag right back. Our chairman is very vocal about Pokemon. Well, He is the chairman of the Pokemon fan club after all. There's a statue on the table there. Oh dear, my seal is far more attractive. Ah, are you saying a seal is more attractive than I am? The nerve. Let's all listen politely to other trainers. Speaking of which, I chair the Pokemon fan club. I have collected over 100 Pokemon. I'm very fussy when it comes to Pokemon. So, did you come and visit to hear about my Pokemon? Sure. Good, listen up. My favorite, Rapidash. It, cute, lovely, smart, plus, amazing. You think so? Oh yes, it, stunning, kindly, love it. Hug it, when, sleeping, warm, and cuddly. Spectacular, ravishing. Oops, look at the time. I kept you too long. Thank you for hearing me out. I want you to have this. Bike voucher, I knew we got something from him, I just couldn't remember what it was. This guy also reminds me of a certain politician that I won't name. Exchange that for a bicycle. Don't worry, my fare will fly me anywhere. So I don't need a bicycle. I hope you like cycling. I do, in fact, and even once you get fly, it's still good to have a bicycle, because sometimes you can fly to Pokemon centers, but you have to bicycle around once you get there. But alright guys, I think we've explored enough of Vermilion City. When we come back, we will go through the SSN, and if we have time, maybe we'll explore Diglett's Cave as well. A lot to see around these parts, and I'm eager to get started, so hopefully you guys will stay tuned.